It is Tuesday, August 7th, time for the Shadrick and Scobie edition of Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, the man who hosts Happy Hour, and you may actually hear a word he has to say because, well, Baselli's not here, J.P. Shadrick.
It's a Tuesday miracle, yes, Joe. Welcome in Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick with you. What a beautiful day inside TIAA Bank Field. We bring you deep down in the dungeon in the studios for the special edition of the first time we've done a Tuesday Jaguars Happy Hour. We've got plenty to get to today. Let's start off with the big three things, starting with the Scobie debut on this program. The former Jaguars kicker is in studio, and he'll be here every Tuesday whether he likes it or not. Spanish radio preview coming up. Javier Carrero and Victor Cora will give you the Spanish broadcast this year. We'll get a preview from those guys. They'll be here in studio a little bit later. And John Ozier, everybody's favorite, here in studio for a practice update. He spoke with Dante Moncrief after work today. Josh Scobie, longtime kicker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, fifth-round pick in 2004 out of La Tech, an 80% kicker in his career, 98% on field goals. We won't ask what happened on the 6 that he missed. And he retired as a Jag last year. Josh Scobie in studio. What's up, co-host?
That was the best picture y'all could have found of me.
What were you looking at?
Confused. I was looking up at the scoreboard,
squinting.
I probably just missed one, so that was a good face.
What happened on that extra point?
That was my bad face. One of the 6 missed extra points. So thanks.
That was the bad
Appreciate
face.
It.
What's up, man?
Not much. Just enjoying the nice, beautiful, warm Jacksonville day. At least got to get out of the heat and come in here.
I feel like, the last 3 days or so have been the hottest of camp so far.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't here.
Oh, I know. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean to call you out in front of everybody. But it seems that the warmest ones of the last couple of days. And, the first week or so of camp, it wasn't quite as bad as everybody was thinking. But, hey, they're going to get it at some point. And they got it this week so far. What have you been up to? What's going on with you? You play golf today?
I didn't. This is one of the few days.
Shocking.
Yeah. It actually was a little too hot for me to play golf. But
I'm going to toughen you up again.
This time of year, it's kind of hard to want to get out in the middle of the day and play golf. And most people work in the morning from Monday to Friday, so they can't exactly get out and play with me. But I have a tournament coming up Monday, so I'll be preparing for that the next few days.
So you were playing. You played in some tournament a few weeks ago too, right? Mm-hmm. You went out west or something, right? Where was?
I was in Colorado, just west of Denver. Before that, I was in Connecticut for an NFL versus NBA tournament. It's actually being televised. It'll be on this coming Sunday.
Oh, you want to give us a preview, or is it they have to hold the results?
I have no idea. Oh, yeah, the results don't matter, but it was a team event.
Are you not telling? You didn't win, did you?
Oh, we won. It was a team event. So NFL versus NBA current and former players.
I thought you would have led with that. Oh, we beat the heck out of these guys.
We knew we were going to win. So, and before that, I was in Monaco, which is like the south of France, the most amazing part of the world I've ever been to, for another celebrity team event. So, I had a pretty fun summer of golf tournaments.
Yeah, that's not a bad summer at all. Monaco, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Nice.
So, but it's good to be back here because we traveled a whole lot, and Jacksonville is home for us, so it's always nice to come back here and enjoy being back to what makes us feel comfortable.
Okay, a special feature each and every Tuesday will be what Josh is wearing today. He'll have a different shirt each and every week, allegedly. And this is the High Haters Blake Bortles with a cigarette shirt.
Yeah, well, so the company is Duval Till We Die Originals, and I reached out to them and said, hey, would you guys mind sending me a bunch of T-shirts for the show I'm going to be doing on Tuesdays? And they were more than happy to do it, and they've got some pretty amazing shirts that I'll be wearing once a week, and they come out with new ones all the time. So this is my favorite one so far. It's, obviously a very handsome character there, but the cigarette really is the best part about it. So, and actually fits really well, too. So, good work, guys.
That's fantastic. And that kind of sums up the last year or so around the Jags. Everybody's been, outside of here, has been hating on Blake, and he overcame all that last year and is poised for a big year this year. That's the fun part about this thing. So, check them out.
Yeah.
DTWD Originals.
Correct.
And I'm sure you'll see him on social media. You've seen him everywhere. You're going to see him on Josh each and every week so far. You're going to help us out throughout the season here on Tuesdays, of course. We also have some other features coming up on Jaguars.com, Jaguars TV as well. Gridiron Grillin', presented by Next Grill. That's a series where you interview some of the guys, right?
Yep. Yeah, we had Josh Lambo, Malik Jackson. We also
Wait a minute,
had
a kicker on kicker interview?
I know
can't
he wasn't
wait for
supposed.
that
He
one.
was a fill-in for somebody. So as I was normally whenever I got asked to do stuff. So I understand.
Great.
But it was fun.
Who else? Malik?
We had Malik, Miles Jack, and receiver 84.
Oh, Keelan Cole.
There we go, Keelan
Yes,
Cole. I
young
wanted to
guy.
call him Kelvin, but I know it's Keelan. Yeah, first time I'd met him, so I apologize, Keelan. But nice guy, very nice guy.
So that's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up, and I just talked to him about grilling, and if they grilled at home, most of them didn't, which was kind of surprising. So it was the first day of camp that we shot that, and it was fun to get their reaction and get them, just fresh off the practice field, still sweating like crazy. Probably lost 5-10 pounds each, but it's always fun to try to talk to guys during that time frame.
Do you have grilling experience?
Oh yeah, well,
to be able to do this
throughout my career, as much free time as I got to cook a lot of dinners at home for my wife and kids. And I still do that now even more. And, I love cooking in general, but grilling for sure.
Plenty to get to today. The Spanish broadcasters coming in, John Ozer a little bit later as well. Play of the day, we talked about this a little bit ago before the show came on social media today. Jalen Ramsey had an interception today at practice. And this is still the part of training camp where reporters are able to basically live tweet practice if they wanted to. And it was late, 11-on-11 work. Moncrief's going down the sideline. Jalen, and you've seen the video on social media. If you haven't, check it out. He tips the ball kind of to himself, falling down interception. I think he's going to make the team, Josh.
I like his chances. I mean, like I tweeted out earlier, if he had been here for the start of camp like he should have been, he probably would have one-handed it and brought it down. But, it was amazing. The guy's a freak in nature, just the pure talent that he has, but the ball skills, to make that play, to tip it and still be able to, as he's falling down, to grab it, it's crazy. And like you said, he's probably going to make the team. I like his chances of starting too.
He might. Yeah, he could get there. We'll see. He might push somebody for a job.
It's early. We'll see how he does in the preseason games.
It's tough missing those days, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Coming off a first-team All-Pro not a year
I know.
ago.
It's kind of goofy, when some fans get up in arms about it. But if anyone was upset that he wasn't here because his first child was born, I can tell you, my first child was born almost 7 years ago during camp, and it was tough enough for me to leave the Baptist hospital and come back to practice. And Del Rio was the coach at the time, and I asked him how long I could take off, and my kid was born at 1:30 p.m., and I was back for meetings the next morning. So
the next day?
The very next day. So, I didn't get that luxury as a never first-team All-Pro kicker. So.
The next day.
Next day.
Now, Baselli said he had it must have been the first kid during a training camp, and Tom Coughlin gave him, you get 24 hours.
That's nice.
You get 24 hours.
I got less. Yeah.
Less than that.
That's the beauty of being a kicker.
And I think Jalen's going to be okay after missing that time coming up. There was a point yesterday in practice, Josh, where there was a 7-on-7 period, and it was a move the ball 7-on-7, which is fairly rare, I guess, but it was it's an offensive drill mainly. The offense has the advantage on this thing. Well, Blake throws a ball to one of the tight ends, O'Shaughnessy. Great play over the middle, jumps over a guy, scores a touchdown. Great play. Here, the first-team defense is supposed to come off the field. They refuse to leave the field. Here comes the second team out. They shoo them off the field. We're staying on the field. Let's go back and get some more. And that kind of sums up what this team, and especially what this defense is about right now. They might get beat. They're not going to get beat twice in a row. And, of course, the next time, offense is off the field rather quickly.
No,
Love that.
That's the mindset they have. And, I've never seen that happen before, especially in camp. Never even heard of that happening. So, obviously, the leadership on that first-team defense is ridiculous. And it's hard to compare them to another team around the league in terms of just how many quality players they have and the type of leadership that they have.
They got 8 Pro Bowl players on the team.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Great
I
starters.
wish I'd had that in my career.
You didn't have much of that? No, you had good defense.
We had,
here.
yeah,
Come
first few years were fantastic. I mean, we had John Henderson, Marcus Stroud, guys like that on the D-line, but I can't. It's just, we had Rasheen, we had Donovan Darius.
Mike P.
A heck of a defense. One of the scariest defenses, but these guys now I think are scarier, and they're a little more of the bully type, which is fun to watch.
And they'll tell you about it beforehand. They'll go do it, and then they'll tell you about it after.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I think it might be. I've never seen a stadium get more excited when the defense comes out on the field than when the offense does. So hopefully we can flip that around a little bit this year.
And then here come the specialists out, and that's when things really
the punter comes out. Yeah, everybody just erupts. They're really pumped for the punter to come out.
Yeah, they really are.
No one's ever gotten pumped for
snapper.
No.
Carson Tinker, here he comes. No,
never seen that happen.
Doesn't quite work like that. Here we are. It's the Jaguars Happy Hour on a Tuesday. Josh Scobie in studio with us. Spanish announcers coming up. John Ozier a little bit later as well. We'll go around the National Football League. Okay, so offensively for this team, we see the Blake shirt. That's story number one. But I think that a big topic right now among Jags fans, in this camp at least, are receivers. And a guy like DJ Chark, who a draft pick, they would have taken him in the first round most likely. They tried to trade back up to get this guy in the first round. It didn't work, but they happened to get this guy in the second round. But talking to Keenan McCardell after practice today for the pregame show on radio, I mean, they absolutely – it's above and beyond, I think, what they expected from him. They know what they were going to get. Big, tall, strong, physical guy, but he has the smarts to go with it. And when you can match all that together, I know it's tough for a rookie receiver in the NFL to really break through. This guy seems to have it, the size, the strength, the speed, the smarts to really hang out here. At least so far in camp, he's had a pretty good camp. What do you think I know you haven't been out, but just the idea of a rookie receiver like Chark breaking through here.
Well, from the video I've seen, all the stuff that Jaguars.com posts, and an interview that I read that he did about going up against, the quality of Jalen and AJ every single day at practice, it's only going to make him that much more prepared to not have to deal with the rookie setbacks that receivers sometimes go through, because most of the time they're not facing NFL quality DBs in college. But he also mentioned that playing in the SEC, he's going up against some of the best ranked cornerbacks, and those guys eventually go to the NFL. So that's prepared him for this. Mm-hmm. And now that he's having the camp that he's having, he's only going to be that much more prepared for the regular season.
Sharp guy, just talking to him a little bit.
It sounded like it.
Yeah, and it's fantastic for this offense. Big difference from a year ago, obviously, in the receiver room with Allen Hurns now in Dallas, Allen Robinson in Chicago, Marquise Lee. If you would have said 3 years ago that Marquise would be the one of those three around here, people looked at you and crazy. But that's how fast things can happen in the NFL. It changes quick.
Well, your first year you're considered a rookie, and then your second year you're considered a veteran. So that's how fast it can happen, and that's how fast the coaches expect you to make that happen. And like you said, with Marquise, 3 years ago he's a rookie. Now he is the veteran in that room. So it's a good thing. It's kind of forcing him to be that veteran leader now. So I can see him taking a big step this year, and not only on the field, but in that room with the young guys.
Yeah, he's healthy now. He finally worked through a season or so health. Marquise did. So, and you got Dante Moncrief in here now, who's had the same thing that Marquise had. He was banged up a bit in Indianapolis. He's seen some days in the NFL, though, and I think having him back on the practice field the last few days has been a help for this wide receiver crew as well. You see his career stats there, 18 touchdowns in his careers in Indy. They had some quarterback issues the last couple of years in Indy, and he was on and off the field, so the statistics are a little maybe not be as high as you might expect for a guy going into his fifth year. But when he's healthy and ready, this is a guy that can really contribute things as well.
Yeah, he's the type of guy that, he's going to be expected to do some good things, and he's got good numbers coming from Indy, and another good thing, he's going up against Jalen and AJ every day, so it's just going to make him better. And he's wearing probably the best number that he could possibly be wearing, in number 10. I mean, I'm kind of biased to that number.
I thought they didn't retire 10.
They tried to, but I gave him my blessing, and he paid me off pretty well.
Really
I'm
nice.
just kidding.
Wow.
No, I remember when they gave him the number, he thanked whoever had it before him. I think it was Jalen Strong. And I wanted to tweet him and say, you should be thanking me that number is not retired. So. But hopefully, he has a big year and can contribute for years to come, because he's, another big guy, and it's good to have the speedy burners, and it's good to have the tall guys with good hands.
Did you ever, when you wore number 10, I don't think you ever scored a touchdown, did you? Did you have any fake field goals or any of that stuff?
Never did. We had a couple of them.
Strong scored one last year wearing number 10.
Yeah. I never scored any touchdowns. We'd never even attempted any, passes or anything with me. I wish we would have. We had one called in that we were going to run. It was when Joe D's first or second year here.
Joe D. Camillo, special teams coordinator, yes.
And we had it set up, ready to go. It was a direct snap to me, and we called it the hideout play. Someone acts like they're walking off from the previous third down, and then they just kind of stay next to the sideline, and then you toss it over there to him. Hopefully no one's guarding him. So we've been working on it all week in practice. Worked out perfectly. We get to Saturday walkthrough, and I go to throw it, and it kind of slips out of my hand, and I threw it about 20 yards over Mercedes' head, and Mercedes is 6'6", so that was hard to do. So Del Rio goes, well, there goes that. We're done. So that was my only attempt, and it didn't work out. And that was in practice, so.
Didn't quite bring it to the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I never did. That way I never got killed. So.
Plenty to get to. We'll come back. Spanish announcers due to join us. Javier Carrero and Victor Cora from Tico Sports. The Jags will have a Spanish broadcast this year. We'll preview that coming up. John Ogier right around the corner as well. We'll go around the National Football League. The Jags open the 2018 preseason Thursday at TIAA Bank Field against the New Orleans Saints. A game presented by Pet Paradise. Tickets available at Jaguars.com. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
This is Josh Lambo of the Jacksonville Jaguars alongside my dogs Lana and Wyatt. It's hard saying goodbye to these two on game day, but that all changed this year with the NFL's first ever in-stadium dog park, thanks to our partnership with Pet Paradise. Are you ready to bring your furry friend to the stadium? Enter the Pet Paradise Top Dog Sweepstakes. Each week, 10 lucky winners will receive 2 game tickets, a parking pass, and the chance to bring your dog to Pet Paradise Park at TIAA Bank Field. Visit Jaguars.com/petparadise and enter today.
On your mark, get set, register today for the annual IOA Jaguars 5K Stadium Challenge on August 11th and take on TIAA Bank Field under the lights. Put in some work on the stadium ramps, sneak a peek at Daly's Place and the Dreamfinders Homes Flex Field, and run through the stadium tunnels like a true champion. Finish strong and see yourself on the video boards. All participants receive 1 free beer at the Bud Light After Party. Proceeds benefit the Jaguars Foundation. Register today at firstplacesports.com.
We're back. Jaguars Happy Hour. What a gorgeous, nice, hot day in Jacksonville, TIAA Bank Field. We're deep inside in the studios for Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick, Josh Scobie, and some very special guests are making their way into the studio on live television. Come on in, guys. We have a very special presentation. Either way, either side. Javier, pick a side. Javier Carrero, play-by-play man for Tico Sports. Victor Cora, color analyst. Good to see you guys. Welcome to Jaguars Happy Hour. Good to see you guys. This is live television. Josh Scobie here. We've got to preview this though first with one of the calls from the Jacksonville Armada this year.
Atención, de nuevo la combina sobre Rebellón hacia el centro, patada de play. ¡Golazo! De play al número 8. Golazo al número, el minuto 27.
That is Javier Carrero with the call of a goal for the Jacksonville Armada. He'll have the call of the Jacksonville Jaguars games on Tico Sports. Good to see you, man. I've known you since 2006 when you did Suns games on Spanish radio. That's a long time ago. What's up, man?
Yeah, you was. How you guys doing? First of all, I had to just thank you to you guys to giving us this opportunity to come in here and get the interview and try to relate a little bit more with the Jacksonville team and the whole organization. So it's very amazing. Yeah, that was back in 2003.
That was when you guys started the Suns, right? Yep.
Yeah, we started with back in that time. I was a Joe Blog. He was one of the media directors back there, and then you took over
in 2006. That's right.
Yeah. So
and then you did this. How long did you do the Suns?
I did for 3 years doing as a commentator. And then this 4 more years as a play-by-play.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you started when the Armada came along. They had a Spanish broadcast, too.
Yeah, that was the last year when Mr. Palmer, he took over the Armada back there. And he just know that, the soccer is a big culture in all Latin America, and that's not only in Europe. And now this is getting big in the United States. So he just came out with the idea to bring all the options of the soccer for their matter in Spanish. So as soon as they hear it, they don't know somebody who can maybe just call. So it was me. So I just came in really quick, and it was very smooth. I appreciated that Armada just give me the opportunity, and it was fun. And it was very exciting.
You've got an opportunity to do the Jaguars. Now, Victor, this is going to be fun working with Pedro. I mean, how do you start? How do they get in touch with you to do the Jags?
Well, I've been working with the foundation for a couple of years, doing character camp and helping Peter and Adriel with some of the outreach initiative for the Latino community. And when they worked out the partnership with Tico Sports, they asked who could they meet to help them with the outreach initiative. So I had an opportunity to meet with the folks from Tico. And I had no idea that at the end of that meeting, they were going to ask me to be the color commentator. So I went immediately and pulled out my Football for Dummies book and started playing Madden, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I have a passion. I have my season tickets. My wife would say, "What are you going to do with the season tickets?" I said, "Well, we'll figure something out." And then Javier and I partnered up. We've been working together. Now, I had a small radio station back in the day, and Javier comes to me and says, "Hey, man, can we do a Spanish sports section?" And that's how our relationship began back in 99, 2000. Wow. So I've been doing broadcasts for a little while, but this is a new area for me. So I'm excited, nervous, the whole 9 yards.
Pretty cool. And it starts Thursday night.
Starts Thursday night,
yes,
man. Thursday night.
It's 2 days away.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
We're excited, but we had a compromise. It's something really, it's a big deal for the Spanish community. Just only beside that, it's just now there's something that's pretty much new for the Spanish community. So they need to learn, and they want to learn how the football rules and all the reglementation and everything that's related with football now. So besides, we do the commentator and we do the play-by-play, and we have to educate them as well, and how the rule, how everything work out. So it's gonna be a challenge, but we are excited and we love the sports, and I think we just pretty much fit up in a beautiful team in Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been living in Jacksonville for 18 years, and it's something historical for me and for the Spanish community.
That's fantastic. Hey, Josh, how's your Spanish? But,
I was just saying during the break that I know all the bad words. I played soccer my whole life, so yeah, in Texas, so big Spanish community there, and a lot of Hispanic kids on our team growing up. So they would teach us all the good words and all the bad words. So I know quite a bit too much, I think.
Cool.
Fantastic.
That's good to know. How about you?
Yeah, it's not. It was better back in the days when I covered baseball. I've been away from it for a little bit, so I'm a little rusty on the Spanish stuff. How big is the Spanish-speaking community here? I know the Jaguars have made a commitment to it. How big is the community here?
Yeah, I think Victor have better numbers than myself because he's been working pretty much with the community for quite a few years. And
Well, when you think about the Latino community in Jacksonville, we're maybe about 170,000 strong in the area. That's Duval and our bordering counties. And we're growing at about 4.5% a year.
Wow.
And have been growing pretty rapidly. The census in 2000 projected that we would be the fastest growing segment of Jacksonville's population by the 2020 census. And we're on track with that. We should be represent 26% of Jacksonville's population growth over the last 2 decades will be the Hispanic community. Why, normally in traditional markets, you look for pockets where you're going to find the Latino community. Jacksonville is not like that because we're such a large geographical footprint that we're scattered all over the place. So we'll be, you have a lot of Hispanics on the west side, you have a lot of Hispanics on the south side. The north side is migrating, but mainly south of Arlington Expressway, University, down toward the JTV area on the east side of the river, and on the west side of the river, mainly the west side, Orange Park, Normandy, Cassett Avenue. But it's really, really, really growing, and also we're partnering up with our Cox affiliate in Orlando,
yes,
and 107.3. So we're going to be broadcasting the game simultaneously here in Jacksonville, plus in Orlando, and then you saw the press release that came out today, which we're also going to be in Mexico for the first 4 games.
Right.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all, right? Spanish speakers. And this is fantastic. So, here in town, 600 AM, WBOB, and 101.1 FM, and in Orlando, 107.3, Solos Éxitos. I believe I said that right.
Oh, perfect.
Solo éxitos, yes.
So we're looking forward to it. How do you prepare? Like, do you watch games, Javier? What do you watch?
Well, when I got the call from Victor and he told me, "Hey, Javier, that's a possible opportunity to do the play-by-play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. How do you feel comfortable?" And I can say, I know the basic rules. I know the football, not 100%. But that's a public library close to my place. So I just ran out there, and then I got a football for dummies and watching videos. And my son, of course, he was born here, and he's pretty much related with all about Jacksonville Jaguar game as a fan. So I've been calling him because this time he's in Orlando right now, but I just make a FaceTime communication with him. And I can say, "Papi, I got this question," and so he's pretty much got to defeat me up. But I'll feel confident. I got a good expert right here too, Victor Cora. Yeah. So we're kind of back up, and we gotta make it this exciting game for the whole season. Hopefully, we're gonna do better every single day. And this is pretty much the preseason, so we're gonna start and see where we are now, and I think that we can improve and get ready for the regular season, if God will.
Yeah, it's preseason for everybody, no doubt about that.
Yes, sir.
Broadcasters too. Guys, we appreciate you coming in today. Good to see you. Congratulations. We're looking forward to hearing it. Though we might not understand what you're saying, we're looking forward to having the Spanish broadcast this year.
I'm pretty sure you're going to hear touchdown in the Spanish. or maybe todos somos Duval.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
That's
So
great.
you might going to hear something.
Good stuff, man. Good to see you.
No, thank you.
There
Thank
it
you so
is.
much for the
Javier
opportunity.
Carrero and Victor Cora. Good
Thank
to
you
see
for
you
the
guys.
opportunity as well.
Good luck to you guys. This Thursday night, they'll have the call on Spanish radio, WBOB 600 AM, 101.1 FM, and in Orlando, 107.3 FM there. We're back in a moment. John Ozier in studio with us. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. I've been doing this for 20 years, but success doesn't happen in a vacuum. Thank you for helping me move this thing along. You helped me get this thing going in the early days by telling 20 of your closest friends about Tito's. They told 20 more, and it kept growing from there. We wouldn't be where we are today without your support. Thank you very much. Go to Tito'sVodka.com and pick up some Tito's gear. All proceeds benefit our charity partners. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
On your mark, get set, register today for the annual IOA Jaguars 5K Stadium Challenge on August 11th and take on TIAA Bank Field under the lights. Put in some work on the stadium ramps, sneak a peek at Daly's Place and the Dreamfinders Homes Flex Field, and run through the stadium tunnels like a true champion. Finish strong and see yourself on the video boards. All participants receive one free beer at the Bud Light After Party. Proceeds benefit the Jaguars Foundation. Register today at firstplacesports.com.
We'll do that tomorrow night when we're at the hotel. We'll talk about it. But again, my philosophy is everyone's got to be ready to play. I told you before, I'm a firm believer that, I don't ever like giving pitch counts out, per se, because what I struggle with is, a player goes out there and he's like, well, I have X amount of plays. I just don't want that type of mentality. I want a player to prepare himself like he's going to go in there, play the whole game. Even though you might say, well, Coach, hey, they know they're not going to play 4 quarters, it's still that mentality. And I think that helps, my opinion, with player safety, being prepared to play like that.
There's Doug Marrone, Jaguars head coach, before practice today. Jaguars Happy Hour rolls along. JP Shadrick, Josh Scobie, and John Ogier is with us. Hi, John.
JP, one's career is full of high points and low points. For me, sitting next to Josh Scobie is one of those.
Which one? Which one of those?
Let's just move on. You got anything for me?
Makes
I love
me
this
feel
guy.
good.
Jaguars.
It's going to be fun.
You guys go way back, though. I mean, you guys go, I had a little thing for a while back and forth. Not a thing.
Well, Josh didn't know about it, but it was.
He just watched me from afar.
I used to give Josh a lot of grief in the ozone, and he used to say, "What's the ozone?" So that
wasn't there. Hold on, before we get to the news of the day and all that. What didn't you take a video of him running or something one time?
Yes.
Well, that was a few years ago.
He
right?
lives not too far from me, so
in the lower area across
the other side of the tracks.
I didn't say that. So every now and again, I see him running down the road that I guess I'm assuming you live near there because I can't see you running that far.
Right. Very near.
But the first video I took of him running, it looked like he was having a tough time, a real tough time.
In my defense, this was a couple summers ago, and it was dead of summer when I was unwise enough. It was probably like 11:30, so it was one of those days where on good days, me running is in quotes. It's not really running. It's more of a staggering, desperate act. And it was really desperate. And he sent it to our video producer, Pat Cavanaugh, with some snide comments over the top. So it was I wasn't sorry to see him retire.
Okay, fair enough. Because you used to take shots at him all the time.
Eye for an eye there.
It's fun.
Sense.
I mean, it's Josh, in covering the league, truly, Josh is one of the good guys in the sense that you could always talk to him in the locker room, miss or make, was not willing to make fun of himself after a miss, but willing to take the job tongue-in-cheek at times when it was appropriate, have fun with it, realized it was for the fans, and realized that he meant something to the fans. So the last serious thing I would say about Josh is I thought he was one of the best at that, in connecting to a group of fans and knowing what the league was all about.
Well, thank you.
Well, there you have it.
And now back to
That was
my
a love
shtick
fest.
where I give him a hard time.
Yeah. We heard from Doug Marrone there. They're not going to give out the pitch counts, as he said, or the play counts. They're going to figure that out tomorrow. And they want guys to be prepared and all that. But it's the first preseason game. You're not going to see the starters past a quarter, right, John?
Well, I'll tell you the pitch count and see if Josh agrees. Starters a couple series. The backups with Cody Kessler probably into the fourth quarter-ish. If they're okay with what Cody's done, then I think you'll see the third-team quarterback for a series or two before he can get himself in a lot of trouble.
Is that about right,
Josh?
Josh?
Yeah, I mean, That's typically what it is. I mean, what we heard Doug saying is that he didn't want to give an exact pitch count because he doesn't want to develop that mentality. And that kind of popped in my head that it made sense to me because there were times in my career whenever I had, a second kicker in camp and I knew that I was going to be taking the second half completely off and he would have the second half for the kicks. So in my mind, unfortunately, it's like, I only have to get through the first half. And I found out that that's not a good way to go about it. You need to be ready for the entire game, prepare the entire week like you're going to be playing 4 quarters and not 1 series, 2 series, 1 half, or whatever it is.
So as a kicker, when you're taking the second half, you take the second half off anyway. Were you going for snacks or at halftime?
A heater like Blake on the shirt here. I don't know.
Well,
heading up to the pools. That was before your.
I wish
that was after your time.
I would have done that absolutely. The best part was we had snacks in the equipment room. They always have chili dogs and whatnot back there. So I would never overeat just in case. The second kicker would
things
get
went
hurt.
awry.
Yeah, and I come out there all bloated and not ready to go. But yeah, it's funny enough that's what you did.
Did you have things you wanted to get out of preseason? I mean, after you were established, which after your first year or so, you knew you were going to be the kicker.
Yep.
How'd you approach it? What did you want to do?
You always want to try to get better. I mean, training camp for a kicker is completely different than it is for these guys. But as a kicker, you're wanting to see progress, like throughout camp, every single day. Be able to, get more accurate, not necessarily stronger because, I mean, it's still a grind for kickers. But you want to see yourself progress and steadily get ready physically and mentally for week 1 because the preseason is really practice. It's, you have to go into the game with game mentality, but at the same time, you're still trying to improve. And so if you miss a kick, don't worry about it. If you make it, you say, well, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Were you aware on a day-to-day basis that Vito was charting the field goal attempts?
Those are always my favorite when I would read the distances or when he thought I missed one.
Were they ever right?
No.
Ever right?
No. He probably still thinks that the ball is snapped 7 yards to the holder when it's 8. Because he would always mess that up.
Back in the day, it was 7. That's changed since I started following the game. But it used to always be a hard 7, but not so much.
I guess when Vito started covering it, that was back
3.
in the Lombardi days. So I can see where that confusion could set in.
And it was. That's not a. That's
no, that is dead accurate. That was Vito's in his mid-60s then. So it's about right.
How many days a week did you kick in camp?
Typically 4, I would say. Not normally more than 2 in a row. It just depended on the coach and what their plan was because obviously I did kickoffs as well, so might do both in one day. We'd normally do field goal almost every day. It just depended on the coach, really.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you really wear yourself out as a kicker? I mean, is it that real, the leg?
Is that
do you have to manage
question?
It? No. Do you have to manage it throughout camp to make sure that you're right for the season? Is it that big of a threat?
Well, what was really
some people wouldn't buy that.
I get that. I laugh when I hear golfers, are getting injured or tired or whatnot, but I understand that. You can. And what I really liked about the guys that were brought in, I believe in 2012, the strength and training guys that are still here, they would put us basically on a pitch count.
They're really in tune to all that. That's sort of their thing.
Absolutely. So you knew how many kicks you had each day. So the next day you come in and you'd see how you felt and if you wanted to push a little more the next day or gear back a little bit. And early in my career, we didn't do that. We would just kick until we felt like it was time to be done.
And you can really see that with the whole roster now, JB, not just the kickers. But the reason I bring it up is you can really see Thomas Linsky and this staff. It's a dramatically different approach. They had the hard practice on Sunday. Yeah. If you notice, it was a half an hour shorter the last 2 days. So this staff's very aware of it. And I think it's a big reason why they're not going into seasons hurt last couple of years.
Yeah, and that was a big story 3-4 years ago. A lot of guys banged up in camp. A guy who's missed some time in camp so far, Dante Moncrief, he's been back the last couple of days. Though, John, I know you talked to Dante today coming off the field. And, since he's been back – he's had a play or two a day where you know what, this is why you paid this guy all this money.
Well, I think the story for Dante Moncrief, it's truly one of these stories that's accurate, meaning when he got here and signed as a free agent, the storyline on him was if this guy can stay healthy and give you 16 games. Usually when he's played 16, his touchdown number has been around 7 or 8, and that would be a good production for him there. And you can see why. Jalen's pick everybody's talking about was on Dante Moncrief. Yep. I think 2 or 3 series earlier, Dante Moncrief had a long pass on Jalen going the other way, and he's beaten Jalen a couple times in practice so far. So when he's been healthy, he was out last week with an ankle. But in the last 3 or 4 days, you can see, and in OTAs you could see, the experience level, the veteran route running. He's a dangerous combination of size and speed. If he's healthy, he's going to get guys out of the box. You have to account for him or he will win.
And as he told you today, I mean, he's got to stay on the field too. Mm-hmm. He understands that he has, whether right or not, there can be a reputation if you're
I think his point is that it's right.
Off the field.
He doesn't shy away from it. He's not one of these guys that say, well, I haven't been injured as much. He knows he hasn't been on the field enough. He knows 16 games for him is a big deal because he's in a 1-year deal. And whether it's here or somewhere else, he needs to show that he can stay on the field and be the player that you can see in glimpses. And if he is, then he's a big part of this wide receiver core. The nice thing about the wide receiver core, you really get the feeling with Chark, Moncrief, Lee. There's 5, and
I couldn't think of one.
I'm missing the last 2.
Cole.
But there's 5 guys, including Cole, including Westbrook,
yep.
that if one of them's down, they're still 4 deep. They're a group that it wouldn't surprise you if the 5th guy that you listed on that is catching 100 yards and a touchdown in a game. I think all 5 are capable of carrying the offense on a given week, even if I can't remember their names.
Another position group that, Josh, I know you know a lot about is offensive line. We're gonna delve into here.
Yeah.
And Doug Marrone today praised A.J. Cann and what his camp has been like. Because at the start of camp, that was one of the positions that Doug brought up, right guard. What's going to happen there? A.J. had been banged up in the offseason a little bit. It was off to the side some. He's coming into a contract year. What's going on? He's been the starter at right guard his whole career, but there was that question. And A.J. talking to him was like, yeah, I hear it through the media and from the family seeing it, and I just got to go play. And so far in camp, so good for A.J. Cann, and Doug Marrone has seen that too.
It's the storyline that never developed. The right guard competition. He's the right guard, has been since the start of camp, and the feeling was always that if he played and played well, he was the clear starter. He's a 3rd-round pick. He's got the size. He has played at a high level in spots, sort of like Moncrief. As long as he plays at that level more consistently, then he's the unquestioned starter. And Doug said something interesting today about they put in the tape and they were trying to show the guys the proper way to avoid the lower the head contact penalty.
Yeah.
And A.J. has been adhering to that, seeing what he hits more. And Doug said basically since he started doing that, he's playing a lot better. So he said he's playing as well. I think the quote was he's playing as well as he has since he's been here. Now, will that continue? You don't know because obviously it matters in the game. But it's interesting that it sounds like he's doing things the right and proper way, and he's playing to his potential, which is sort of what you want to do, right, Josh? Right, analyst?
You'd love to always play to your potential, yes.
Good luck. Thank you, Josh.
Good luck. Yes, Captain Obvious here.
But that's a big point for this offensive line. I think today there might have been a change or two up front in some of the teamwork. But throughout camp, the starting 5 offensive linemen have been the starting 5, and they haven't really plugged guys in.
It's been my note of repetition. Every day I wanted to sort of monitor who the offensive line was, and it's been Parnell, Cann, Linder, Norwell, and Robinson. I got that one.
Yay. Nice.
That's impressive.
You didn't think I could do that?
No. You give me 10 minutes, I could have figured it out.
So there you have it. Offensive line, big story today. Defensively, there's still some questions about the depth at linebacker. We know what Miles Jack's going to be. We know Telvin Smith's going to be there and noisy and all that. Leon Jacobs has been getting a lot of the play on the strong side. After that, not really sure what's going to happen. But Leon Jacobs is number 1 on that unofficial depth chart right now.
Well, and right now it would be surprising if that changed. He's 7th-round pick out of Wisconsin. He's got the physical build to play the strong side, to hold that point. And from what you hear, from what Miles Jack said this week and some other players, he is beyond where you normally are as a rookie in terms of the understanding. So the fact that he's working with the ones and he's got those things going for him, I'd be surprised if he comes out of the strong side spot. That's a spot you're supposed to be able to draft lower. it's a 30% of the plays as opposed to 100% of the plays. So you're supposed to be able to get that later in the draft. They feel like they have, supposedly. I mean, according to what they say, they feel like they have. I don't think it's as uncertain behind Telvin because I think they really like Blair Brown. All you ever heard in the OTAs was that they really like this guy as an off-the-ball linebacker. The question is, could he come over to the strong side and play that? They feel like Leon Jacobs can play that, so they like what Blair Brown is behind it. Is there a guy beyond maybe Brooks Ellis who can play the sixth linebacker spot? Do you go deep enough there, or is that a spot where you're going to bring guys off the practice squad if somebody gets hurt? Yep. Usually you like six because one of those, the back three particularly, are going to play special teams. But if you're trying to juggle your roster, you can get by with five. So maybe the five is Ellis behind Jacobs and Brown behind Smith. Maybe that's what it is.
Who knows? Who knows? There you have it.
We just went way too deep on the roster for Josh.
I think we went down the depth chart a bit.
Even when I was playing, I literally couldn't name 8 linebackers, 6
You
linebackers.
just say, hey, guy. Hey, man, how you doing?
Unfortunately,
you wouldn't sit with him at lunch.
The last few years for me, the roster changed pretty often, so I'd get out there and not know guys on the kickoff team.
It was a time of great overhaul.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes. So.
Well, I thought you were the special teams captain. You're supposed to know everybody on the team, right?
Well, not if they were signed the night before. So that's the problem. It's a lot better now. That's for sure.
Times have changed around here. Hey, John, good to see you, man. What do you got later today? Tomorrow, Thursday? What do you got? What are you doing?
Just some notes from today, and then tomorrow we'll Brian Sexton and I will have some quick thoughts on this week and all of the 10 things the Jaguars would like to get done on Thursday against the
10 whole things
against the New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
So 10 things.
10 things. Well,
I like that.
Keep it at 10.
You like
nice
the
odd
number 10. Yeah. Use that number quite a bit.
We'll look forward to that. John, thanks for coming in, man.
I look forward to it, and I look forward to
we might do this
Josh
each Tuesday.
Might be fantastic. I'll enjoy it.
Have John in every Tuesday with Scobie.
That sounds like a good idea.
What a segment this will be.
Thanks for dressing up for the occasion, too, Josh.
Listen, this is a sponsored shirt.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
I like that.
John Osher, everybody. Hey, coming up Labor Day weekend, Osher will be here for Leonard Skinnard, the last of the Street Survivors farewell tour. Skinnard's final Jacksonville show. You believe it?
End of an era.
Indeed it is. We'll have some friends with him, too. Kid Rock, Jason Aldean, Charlie Daniels, Marshall Tucker, and Blackberry Smoke, all on that field right there, TIAA Bank Field. Tickets at Jaguars.com and at Ticketmaster. We'll take a quick look around the NFL when we come back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. We never forget that it's your money. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Sean's probably one of the best communicators that I've been around. Obviously, he's extremely intelligent. I thought we had, it was interesting. Initially, when we came in there, we put together a staff. I think we were the youngest staff in the league at that time. But Sean, very organized, very good with personnel. But I think for me, Sean helped me the most with communication amongst the staff because, I ran some of the meetings and he really helped me along the way of, building a staff, what he looks for in a staff, and things of that nature. So, I owe a great deal to Sean.
Doug Marrone discussing Sean Payton, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. were on earlier today before practice. Jaguars Happy Hour continues. JP Shadrick, Josh Scobie. And Doug was the offensive coordinator for the Saints from 06 to 08, I believe. And, of course, Sean Payton, I guess, calls the plays, but Doug was the guy kind of in the meeting room and doing all that. And you heard what Sean Payton gave to him during his time as an assistant down in New Orleans. And he speaks fondly of his time in New Orleans as a city as well. But what do you think of Doug so far? I mean, were you here when he was an assistant for one of those years?
1 year.
That was the last year for you, right?
Yeah, and what I liked about him is that he's not the typical O-line coach that doesn't like kickers, because most of them didn't, to tell you the truth, because that's just how O-line coaches are. Yeah, who likes kickers and punters. But he always liked to come up and talk to the specialists and just chat about random things and the times when he used to snap and all this. And I love his mentality. And when he got hired, I thought it was a great hire. And even though some people didn't, but obviously last year was fantastic. And I just like the way he goes about things and the way he handles interviews. And he's pretty transparent. And if that transparency actually gets to the players and he's telling them what he tells us, then I love it, because it's hard-nosed. It's coming from upstairs, from TC, and it seems like it's the same mentality. And it's something that was needed around here, and it's working.
And of course, you were after TC was gone,
yep.
So you weren't around for the whole TC stuff.
Yep.
So, but for everybody who was around when Tom Coughlin was here before, it's been a bit of a renaissance to have him back in the building, and
yep.
It just changes the attitude, the feeling walking around this place, And I know as even a visitor in here now, you could probably feel that, right?
Oh yeah, and I mean, obviously, I got here 2 years after Coughlin's last year, and you could still feel, his legacy around here. And as long as I was here, I heard stories about just how tough things were, the practices, the mentality, the Coughlin time, everything. And it might have gotten old for a bit, but it was needed to come back here, and everyone around Jacksonville's glad to have him back and hoping for better and more things in the future.
What was the toughest camp you ever had as a kicker? I know it's a kicker. You don't have tough camps. You drink a lot of Gatorade and you kneel.
Try to stay hydrated. Yeah. Oh man, the toughest camp. It was probably my first one, to tell you the truth. Yeah, because they filmed Was it the Jaguars summer, our training camp, kind of like they do the Hard Knocks?
It was like the first Hard Knocks, really, is what it was, but they didn't call it that.
Yeah, they called it just training
Jaguars
camp
summer.
at Jaguars Summer.
Yeah.
So it was tough for me because I had just gotten drafted. It's my first one. And my first couple games, I struggled, and they brought in other kickers. They already had 2 kickers here, so I'm battling with them. They cut one of them. Another one got hurt, and I had 2 tough games. They bring in Steve Christie, who was probably in his 15th year at the time.
Yeah.
And I had 2 really good games after that and make the team. But the cameras would follow me around everywhere. And, even in my off time after a practice, I'm going to the player lounge to, just rest or call my girlfriend or watch TV or something. And I look over and there's a camera right in my face. And that was probably the toughest. Just getting through all that, it was goofy, and I'm glad I never had to do it again.
It was that much of a distraction, having those cameras around.
Oh, it was, because I think if it had been 3 or 4 years into the league, I would have felt more comfortable with them. But at the time, I was not comfortable. It wasn't fun.
A lot of other things to worry about. Hey, coming up at Daly's Place tonight, 311 in the Offspring. Just to the south end of here. Wiz Khalifa, August 15th. Jason Mraz with Brett Dennen, August 17th. Lindsey Sterling and Evanescence, August 20th. I believe that's an orchestra show. Tickets at dailysplace.com. Have you been to Daly's Place yet, Josh?
Oh, I have. Yeah, it is.
What'd you see?
It's amazing. Wait, I haven't been to a concert.
You haven't been to the concert?
I've yet to go to a concert. Obviously, I've been in there, but yet to go to a concert. The one tonight, I wish I'd known about
They're getting
this.
set up for it. 311.
311 and Offspring were some of my favorite bands.
We're out of here at 5. You can go see some sound check probably and hang out. for a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm gonna tell my wife I'll be
Yeah,
home a little bit late.
We're at work. We got
Well, I
stuff
told
to
her,
do,
yeah.
Melissa. I mean, what, come on.
That's two pretty good bands, and the lineups coming up. That'll be ones to go see.
So there you go. Tickets available. DailysPlace.com. Let's take a quick look around the National Football League. Khalil Mack holding out from the Raiders. Paul Gutierrez of ESPN said Mack could be a player to watch to be traded in the preseason. There's been no evidence that there's any talk at all between the Raiders camp and Mack's camp. I mean, come on. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. He's not going anywhere, is he?
No. I mean, I can't see Gruden coming in and getting rid of one of the best players in the league just like that, just because he's unhappy about his contract.
Right. Khalil Mack is a fantastic, but there's been no talk. There's been no conversation.
That's surprising, but at the same time, not surprising. I've kind of heard some goofy things about Gruden and his player-coach relationship and lack thereof over the years.
And he wants to go a little older. He did that down in Tampa.
Yeah,
they went a little older there. It's been a while, of course. Will that work now? I don't know. It's a young man's league, right?
They're not trading Khalil Mack. If they do, they're going to have plenty of suitors, but I don't think the owners are going to let that one happen.
Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown returned to the walkthrough Tuesday. He missed 5 days with an undisclosed injury. He'll miss this Thursday night's game. Will not play against the Eagles. He's going to be fine, too. I mean, it's Antonio Brown. You were there for a short time. How is Antonio Brown?
Really, really good dude. He was probably one of my favorite guys to talk to and just hang around, but one of the most impressive football players I've ever been around.
About the rest of it. I don't know. We don't want to talk too much about this. I know this brings up some bad memories.
Oh, no, I don't remember it. I blocked it way out. It's gone.
It's gone. You don't even remember it. That was the only thing you remembered. Was
that's it. Just that he was a nice guy. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
okay. We won't go there.
That's okay. We can go there. I'm not
No,
sensitive.
not the first show. It's the first show.
Okay.
I don't want to. We'll
wait till week 20.
We'll get every Tuesday. Pittsburgh Steeler week, though. Get ready.
Oh, yeah. I'm good with that.
We're opening up all the stories.
I'll open up my Twitter to Steeler fans once again.
Yes.
So perfect.
Unblock everybody you've blocked.
That. No, can't do that. I'll block more people.
Steeler week. We're gonna get some stories out of you, bud.
Okay, I'm good with that.
For that. Thursday night, the Jags and the New Orleans Saints coming up. A game presented by Pet Paradise here at TIAA Bank Field. Hey, it's always fun to get in. First game, the camp's been going for a couple of weeks. Let's just get on the grass and play some football, right? That's what these guys are thinking.
I think everyone's just ready to hit someone else, and that's the thing about camp. You're hitting the guy across from you who's going to be your teammate, and so that they don't want to hurt people. So now they want to get out there and hit someone else that they know they can hurt without any repercussions.
So that's week one, and then the week after that, you go up to Minnesota and practice for a couple of days against the Vikings, a playoff team a year ago, and then they'll play a Saturday 1 o'clock kickoff game in Minneapolis. And, you go up against another team. They did it last year against the Patriots, and I think learned a lot of where they were in relation to one of the great teams in the league at that time. And now they'll go up with a chance to be an equal, if not a little better, than the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, the Jags are being compared to the Vikings quite a bit, not just on defense, but the caliber of team. So it'll be beneficial for them to go up there and practice with that type of team and learn some things about them, and could be a team we could possibly see late in the year.
Oh, what are you saying?
I'm just saying I like our chances.
Well, what are you saying, Josh?
I like our chances.
Well, you want to just go ahead and say it, or you want to, just tease us like that? Are you going to lock it, or are you going to?
I got no locks. But I like our chances.
That's very vague, but we need a little more.
We won't play them in the AFC playoffs. That will after that.
A little later.
A little bit after that.
That's a bold prediction up in Atlanta for the big one.
I'll be there for it.
If we're there, I think we'll all be there
yes.
for it. That would be fun. That would be a heck of a run for this Jaguars team. So that's the next couple of weeks for you. What do you got the rest of the week? What are you doing?
I got to get ready for a golf tournament on Monday.
Tournament, but you're coming to the game.
Thursday, yes. My son's birthday. We are bringing him and a bunch of his friends. We're going to be up in the pool cabana area.
Oh, really?
So I apologize. He's going to be 7. So I apologize in advance if any of you are in that area and my kids splash you or do anything that is inappropriate that you might not like, but deal with it. It's his birthday.
There you have it. Look for Josh Scobie and company at the pools the spas
The
on
spas,
Thursday
yes.
evening. Hey, good start, man. Good to see you.
Thanks. Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, I will look forward to the next shirt next week.
Yeah. It's some good ones, too. So.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and they're coming out with more. So we'll have each week try to get a different one.
A fresh one. Maybe an XL. You know, I could sport one or two.
You hear that, guys?
Just throwing it
XL.
out there. I don't know.
All right.
Joe's a large, I think. Maybe a medium. We'll work on that.
We'll figure it out.
Josh, well done. Josh Scobie joining us, former Jags kicker, Max Hockman, Ashton Sullivan, Patrick Cavanaugh, Dave DeCandis, Joe Fortunato. This is JP Shadrick. We'll catch you next time. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.